Hey everyone, I'm going to show you how to put a program into your calculator. If we were in the building, I would just crack out a little cord and plug your calculator into mine and just transfer it. Wouldn't that be great? Someday we'll be back in school again, I hope. So this program will work on the Graphen Ti83 app for iPhones because I tested that out. I don't know for sure if it works on WabbitEmu on Androids because I haven't tested that because I don't have an Android phone. So this shouldn't take us too long. It's a pretty short program, but this program will make us be able to do Riemann sums. So to start a new program, you push the button called Program. By the way, there are notes that will be posted on the class page for this as well, so you can see what everything should look like. Okay, so to start a new program, push the button called Program, third row, third column. We want a new program. So we arrow to new and hit enter. We need to give it a name. Notice it's blinking on the A, so it's already on the alpha. So I'm going to type Riemann, R-I, not E. So R-I-E-M, and this is, it's always hard for me to find these things. So program name Riemann, and then hit enter. Okay. So it needs us, so this program, when you're using it, you'll need to type in your y equals into y1 first. And there's nothing in the program that tells you that. That's something you have to automatically know. So know that you have to put the equation into y1. Okay, now the program needs to ask us for a and b, the lower and upper bounds. It also is going to ask us for n, how many strips we want, how many rectangles. So if we push the program button, the I/O is input output. That's what we're going to go to first. And we're going to prompt. Basically, that's how the calculator is going to ask us. So we're going to prompt for A. So we do alpha A, and then a comma, which is above the 7, alpha B, and a comma, and then alpha N. So that's going to ask us for A, B, and N. The next thing we want it to do is to ask us for the percent. The percent is going to be for like a left Riemann sum would be 0%, a right Riemann sum would be 100%, a midpoint Riemann sum would be 50%. You can choose any percent you want. So it's going to be good to remind ourselves what we ask for. So we're going to say percent here. So hit Program, go to the I/O, and then we want 3, the display. And we're going to make it say percent. So if you do your alpha, you can go alpha plus to give a quote. Anything you want displayed as text has to be in quotes. And then I'll do a P, alpha C, alpha T, and then alpha negative to make a question mark, and then alpha plus for the double quotes, and then hit enter. So that's just asking a question, but it doesn't actually do anything. So we want to be able to input the P, the percent, so hit Program, I/O, and then Input. And so it'll ask you that question and you will input P as a percent and it will get stored as the variable P. Okay, now comes the behind the scenes math stuff. If you really think it through, you can figure it out, most likely. To be honest, I was given this program. I don't understand all the programming, even though I have a tiny bit of programming behind me, but not a ton. Okay, but make sure your calculator looks just like mine. You can compare it to the file on the class page. Also, we'll run a test of it, and so you can test it and compare. Okay, so parentheses, alpha B minus alpha A, parentheses, divided by alpha N. Store, that little arrow I made show up by the button called Store, STO, with an arrow above the on, just to the left of 1. So store as D, so alpha D. And then hit enter. And then we're going to do alpha A plus alpha P divided by 100 times D, store as X, and then hit enter. And then we're going to do 0, store alpha S, hit enter. 1 store alpha k, hit enter. Just again, as we go through this, make sure that you can hit pause on the video, obviously, and then just make sure your screen matches my screen. And then we need to do something called make a label, so hit program. Number 9 is label, so I hit 9, and then I label it as 1 and hit enter. Okay, keep going. And then we're going to do y1, so alpha trace if you have a Ti84, vars y-vars function y1 if you have an 83. So y1 plus alpha s, store alpha s. So this is basically, I don't know actually what it's quite doing. I kind of do, but I don't feel like necessarily going there. Okay. I have no idea why this line is here. Next line is just an X and hit enter. Next line, do alpha k plus 1 store alpha k, and then X plus alpha d store X. And then, this is kind of weird. I'm looking at my screen, so I'm having to go back and forth at the another screen. So, program, we're going to do an if k, so alpha k, is less than or equal to you find in second math 6. And then k is less than or equal to n, so alpha n, hit enter, and then program go to, which is all the way down to 0, just arrow down when you hit the program button to get go to, 1, hit enter, and then alpha s, alpha d, store alpha I. One last line, program, go to I/O for input output. We're going to display I. Okay, that's the entire program. Whew. Now quit out of here. In your y equals, throw in, I'm going to just get rid of a few things there. Throw in an x squared just so we can test this thing out. So let's do y1 equals x squared. Now to run this program, go program. And then execute is the first thing, and I have, you might have other programs in there, but I have program 2 is my Riemann. I hit enter, and it asks me for A. Let's try a 1 here. For B, let's try a 5. For C, for N, that's how many rectangles. Let's do 6. And percent, this is kind of weird. You can do any percent you want. Again, 0 would be a left Riemann sum, 100 would be a right Riemann sum, 50 would be a midpoint Riemann sum. I'm going to do a 23%. So like 23% of the way across the strip would be where this thing is. And then it gives me that answer. So try those same numbers and with y equals x squared and see if you get the same response. So that is our Riemann sum program.